Hello everyone and welcome back to Chess With MNM and also welcome back to Chessable Masters online tournament on chess24.com. Today started the day 4 or the round 2 of the quarterfinals between Hikaru Nakamura and Liren and also between Alexander Grischuk and Anish Giri. Now before I start this video, this is the game of the video between Nakamura and Liren, and as we know Ding won the round 1 of the quarterfinals against Nakamura, and now we are in the round 2. Now the first game ended by draw, the first game of the round 2 ended by draw, and now this game is the second game. So let's see what happened in this exciting game. The Ding Liren with the white pieces and Nakamura with the black pieces. Ding Liren opened this game by d4. Queen's pawn opening, d5 played by Nakamura, c4, and now d capture on c4, queen's gambit accepted. Now here the most played move is knight to f3 or e3, but here Ding Liren choose to play e4, grabbing the control of the space or the center, sorry, early. Okay. Now here the most played move is e5. Okay, and after e5, then d capture on e5 comes, and here I mean the black will exchange the queens, and then knight to c6 comes, attacking the pawn on the e4 square, and then bishop capture on c4 will play. The white here will play bishop capture on c4, and the black will grab the e5 pawn. And here if you try to protect the pawn by knight to f3, then bishop to g4 comes, and if you try to play something like f4, then the black here has g5. Okay, so here the most played move is e5, but Nakamura here played knight to f6, another line from this position. Okay, e5 played, attacking the knight, knight to d5, moving away from the threat, and now bishop capture on c4 with an attack or with a pressure on the d5 knight, okay, because it's protected by queen. Knight back to b6 played, attacking the bishop, and now bishop back to d3 played. Now here knight to c6 played. Of course here knight to c6 developing the knight with a double attack on the d4 pawn. Of course here you cannot capture the pawn, bishop capture, queen capture on d4, because bishop to b5 check will be the delay, and then I will pick up your queen in the next move. So bishop to d3, after bishop to d3, knight to c6 played, attacking. Now I want to grab the pawn now by the knight, so you have to protect it. Bishop to e3, and now knight to b4, knight to b4 played, attacking the light squares bishop. Bishop to e4 played, moving away from the attack, and now f5 played. And f5 is a beautiful move actually. Now the idea here that I'm attacking your bishop, so you have to deal with this. If you try to capture, example e capture on f6, then I have e capture on f6, and I open it now the way for my bishop. Okay, so here after f5, instead capturing, here Ding played a3, attacking the knight. If you capture my bishop, I will grab your knight. So after a3, knight 4 to d5 played, and now bishop capture on d5 played by Ding Liren. Knight capture on d5 played, and now knight to c3 played by Ding Liren. Knight capture on e3, and now f capture on e3. And now by this move, Nakamura has two bishop for two knights. Okay, so Nakamura's plan is trying to opening the position, because to activate his bishops, and what Ding Liren has to do is trying to closing or to keep the position locked as he can, because he has two knights, okay, our pair knights. So let's see what happened. e6 now played by Nakamura, opening the way for the dark squares bishop. Knight g to e2, and now g6 played. And now knight to f4, developing the knight with a pressure on the e6 square. Here bishop to h6 played, developing the bishop on the c1 h6 diagonal. And now knight c to e2 played by Ding Liren. If you capture that bishop, I will recapture by the knight to keep putting a pressure on your e6 pawn. Okay, so here after knight c to e2, c6 played by Nakamura, and now h4, I want to grab more space on the king side. Also h5 at some point will be a good idea. So here after h4, a5 played by Nakamura. Also I want to grab a space on the queen side, and now king to f2. King to f2 is a beautiful move. I don't have to castle here, because the king on the f2 is more active and more useful than the king on the g1. And however, after king to f2, now I can develop the rook. Okay, so I don't have to castle here. King to f2 played, and now Nakamura here castled, and queen to b3 played by Ding Liren, attacking the pawn on the e6. And so rook to e8, protecting the pawn, and now rook a to c1 played, developing the rook on the semi-open c file. And now rook to a6 play. Rook to a6, I want to play something like rook to b5 to attack your queen and to activate my rook. And so here after rook to a6, now g3 played, supporting the f4 square. Bishop to f8, and I mean bishop to f8 seems like a strange move, but the idea is that this bishop is not useful on this diagonal, so let's shift him into the a3 f8 diagonal. But however, the engine says that this move wasn't the best move at this position. The engine here says that queen to b6 was more good idea, because the idea is that I'm offering to exchange the queens. If you capture on the b6, then I have rook capture on b6, activating my rook with an attack on your b2 square, our pawn. And if you decline, here after queen to b6, if you decline the exchange, example something like queen to c2, now I activated my queen, okay? So here, instead bishop to f8, queen to b3 was much better. But however, Nakamura missed that idea, and Nakamura here played bishop back to f8. Rook h to d1 played. At some point, d5 will be a good idea. So here after rook h to d1, Nakamura here played king to h8. King to h8, moving away from the queen's diagonal, okay? So here after king to h8, rook to c3 played by Liren. Rook to b6 attacking the queen, and now queen back to c2 played. And here bishop to d7. Bishop to d7, I mean not developing the bishop, but clearing the way for the queen or for the rook to come into the a file to protect the pawn if the white attacked him by something like a queen to a4 at some point, okay? So here after bishop to d7, knight to d3 played now by Liren. I want to shift my knight into the c5 and this knight into the f4, and this is what happened after rook to e7. Here, knight to c5 played by Liren. I'm making a pressure on your bishop, also making a pressure on e6 square, also on the b4, on the b7, sorry, pawn. Bishop back to e8 played, and now knight to f4 attacking the pawn on the e6 square twice. So here bishop to f7 protecting the e6 square, and now here after rook to f7, bishop to f7, rook to c4 played. Rook to c4, the idea is clearing the c3 square for the queen to attack the pawn. Also, at some point, rook to a4 will be a useful move to attack the pawn. So here after rook to c4, rook to e8 played by Liren, by Nakamura, and now rook to d2 played. Rook to d2 protecting the b2 square. So when I play something like queen to c3 and I capture, you will not be able to capture on the b2 square, okay? Queen to e7 played. Now the pawn protected by the queen, so I can move my rook into the a5 to protect my a5 pawn, and this is actually what happened after queen to z3. Rook to a8 played, and now rook to a4 attacking the pawn on the a5 twice. Rook to b5 protecting the pawn. Rook to c4 played by Liren, and now rook back to b6. Nakamura has no problem about repeating the position, but Liren said no, I will not repeat that position, and simply I will play queen back to c2. King to g8, Nakamura here is waiting. Rook to d3 played. I want to play something like rook to b4, exchange this rook to activate the queen with a pressure on your b7 pawn. h6 played by Nakamura, and now rook to b3 played. Rook capture on b3, queen capture on b3. Now I'm attacking your b7 pawn. So now I'm attacking your b7 pawn twice, so you have to deal with this. So here Nakamura played g5 first, attacking the knight, and now h capture on g5. H capture on g5 played, and after h capture on g5, knight f to d3 played by Liren. Now I'm attacking the pawn, you have to deal with this. So here b5 played by Nakamura, preventing queen capture on b7, also attacking the rook. Rook back to c1 played, and now a4. And here Liren played queen to a2. Queen to a2, yeah. Now the best move here that the engine says is queen to d1. Now what's the idea about this move? The idea here, example, let's say here you play something like rook to a7, okay, trying to activating the rook on the 7th rank, or something like that. Here the white will play queen to f3, okay, queen to f3 with an attack on your c6 pawn. So you have to protect that pawn. Example, something like rook to c7, then I have rook to h1. Now by this I grabbed the open h file, or the only open file on the game, and also don't forget that your king is on the g file. So queen to g2, queen to h3, and then queen to h7 or queen to h8 will be deadly for your king. So you have to be careful. Also, I have knight to b4 with double attack on your c6 pawn. So here I mean, for this season here, instead queen to a2, queen to d1, and queen to f3 idea was better, but here Dingleren missed that idea unfortunately, and Dingleren played queen to a2. The idea that this queen will still keep putting a pressure on you on the e6 square. Okay, so here Nakamura, after queen back to a2, played queen to e8. Queen to e8 opening the way for the bishop to attack the knight on the c5 square. Knight to b4 played, putting a pressure on the c6 square. Rook to e8 supporting the c6 square, and now king to e1. And king to e1 was a blunder by Dinkleren. Why this move was a blunder? Because here bishop capture on c5 played by Nakamura, rook capture on c5 played, and here Nakamura again blundered. Sorry, Dingleren here blundered, king to e1, and here Nakamura blundered. Now Nakamura here played bishop to h5. Now, why this move a blunder? Because Nakamura had so strong move, and this move, I mean, will destroy the white if Nakamura found it. Pause the video for a couple of seconds and try to find what the best move or what the best line for the black to play at this position. Now the best move here for the black is playing king to g7. King to g7 will be deadly move for the white. Why? Because here, now the idea is I want to play queen to h8 and queen to h1 followed by rook to h8 with bishop to h5. Okay, now here example, if you play something like queen to b1, okay, you want to, I mean, return your queen into the game. So queen to h5 comes. Now I'm threatening queen to h1 check, and then I will pick up your queen, so you have to deal with this. Queen to d3 is the best move for the white here, and now queen to h2 comes, attacking the pawn on the g3 square, also clearing the h8 square for the rook to come into the h8. And imagine this, rook on the h8, then rook into the h3 with bishop to h5, also always threatening a checkmate on the e2 square, so your pieces has to keep an eye on that square. Also, queen to g1 check with a rook to h2 will be deadly ideas against the black. So here the engine says that the black here has a huge advantage, but unfortunately Nakamura missed that idea, and instead king to g7, Nakamura here played bishop to h5. Okay, bishop to h5, the idea that I want to play queen to bishop to f3 to activate this unuseful bishop. Okay, so after bishop to h5, king to d2 played. I want to shift my king into the queen side because it's more I mean, it's more safely for my king. Bishop to f3 played, and now king to c3. And here king to g7 played. I want to shift my queen into the h file. Queen to b1, trying to returning the queen into the game. Bishop to e4 played, now attacking the queen, and now queen to e1 played. Queen to h8, grabbing the only open file on the game. b3 trying to do something on the queen side, but here Nakamura simply played queen to h2, and he said to Dingleren, do what you want to do on the queen side, I'm not interested. B capture on a4, B capture on a4, and here Dingleren played rook to a4, rook to a5, sorry. Rook to a5, the idea is attacking the pawn on the a4 or something like that, but here Nakamura played a tricky move, and it is king to g6. What's the idea by this move? The idea is trapping the white. Why? Because here, now Dingleren played rook to a6, and this move was a blunder. The engine here says that Dingleren had to play rook to c5. And here the question is why Dingleren didn't capture on the a4, because here if you capture on the a4, then c5 will be deadly. However, here after rook to a6, Nakamura pushed c5. Okay, c5. Now this move is deadly move, because here now you cannot move this knight. Example, if you move it, then queen to c2 will be a checkmate. Okay, your king cannot move into the b4 square because it's protected now or controlled by the pawn. So here c5, you cannot move the knight. So if you capture by the pawn, then I will recapture by the rook with the check. The only square for the king is the d4 square, but then I have rook to c8. Now your king cannot move to anywhere, okay, and my bishop protected, so you cannot capture it. So now the plan is just if I give a check to your king by my queen, so it will be a checkmate. And this is the threat here: queen to b2 check, and then queen to b2 check. You will you will cover by the queen, and then queen capture on the c3 will be a checkmate. I mean, how will prevent all of this threat, all of these threats? Here after c5, Dingleren said, okay, I'll play rook to e6, and when he moves his king into the f7, then I will play rook to f6 check, and this what happened. He will move his king into the g7, and now I will play d capture on c5. Now Nakamura will capture, and after king to d4, and now Nakamura will move his rook back, and then I will play knight to d5. This is what Ding was thinking. I will play knight to d5. I mean, trying to do something. The idea here that if you play something like queen to b2, and this is actually what Nakamura played here, I will play knight to c3, and okay, I covered the check or something like that. But here Nakamura finished this game by queen to b3, and it was at this position that Ding Liren simply resigned the game. Now why Ding Liren resigned the game here? Because now I'm threatening rook capture on the c3, will recapture by the queen, and queen to d5 will be a checkmate. How to prevent this? There is no way to prevent this. So for the season here, after queen to b3, it was at this position that Ding Liren resigned the game. I mean, yeah, Ding Liren here at where? Here. Ding here after a4. Ding had to play queen to d3 with queen to f3 and rook to h1 idea, but Ding missed that idea, and Ding here played queen back to a2, and then queen back to e8 played, and after knight to b4 and rook to c8, the Ding here blundered, and Ding here played king to e1. The engine here says that Ding had to play knight b back to d3, because if you capture by the bishop, I will recapture by the knight, and my knight will still keeping pressure on your pawn on your e6 square. But unfortunately, Ding missed that idea, and Ding here blundered king to e1, and by this, the Ding allowed the black to grab the h file, and by this, and after 10 move or 15 move, after 10 move or 15 move, Ding here simply lost this game. So yeah, this was the game. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this game, please don't forget to smash the like and subscribe. Also, you can check out my previous videos, and see you in the next videos.